Nowzar's Legacy, a modern Iranian tale. Nowzar Tehrani stood before the ornate mirror in his father's study, adjusting the tie of his impeccably tailored suit. At 28, he was about to become the youngest CEO of Pars National, Iran's largest energy company. The weight of expectation sat heavily on his shoulders. A soft knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. "Come in," he called. His father's assistant, Mrs. Fatemi, entered with a solemn expression. "Nowzar Jan, I'm so sorry. Your father, he's gone." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Nowzar Tehrani, the legendary businessman and philanthropist, dead at 65. Nowzar gripped the edge of the desk, his knuckles white. "How?" he managed to ask. "A heart attack, they say. It happened an hour ago at the office." Nowzar nodded mechanically, his mind reeling. In a single moment he had lost his father, his mentor and his guide. And now the future of Pars National, and perhaps the energy landscape of Iran itself, rested in his hands. In the following weeks he was passed in a blur of funeral arrangements, board meetings and press conferences. Nowzar found himself thrust into the spotlight, his every move scrutinized by the media, employees and competitors. Many wondered whether the young Tehrani could fill his father's shoes. But Nowzar's determination was unwavering. He threw himself into his new role with an enthusiasm that would have made Manacher proud. Under his leadership, Pars National began to invest heavily in renewable energy, aiming to transform Iran into a green energy powerhouse. Only some people were pleased with this new direction. Afrasiab Zand, the ruthless CEO of rival Tehran Energy, saw Nowzar's idealism as a weakness to exploit. Determined to seize control of the energy market, he began a campaign of aggressive competition and behind-the-scenes maneuvering. As tensions mounted, Nowzar found an unexpected ally in Sindokt Karimi, a brilliant environmental scientist whose research was vital to Pars National's green initiatives. Sindokt's passion for her work and her unwavering integrity reminded Nowzar of why he had embarked on this path in the first place. One evening, as they worked late at the office, Sindokt turned to Nowzar with a severe expression. "You know Afrasiab won't stop, right? He's not just after market share. He wants to destroy everything your father built." Nowzar sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I know. But what can I do? We're trying to change the future of energy in Iran. We can't get bogged down in corporate warfare." Sindokt's eyes flashed with determination. "Then we fight smarter, not harder. Your father didn't build this company by backing down from challenges." Inspired by Sindokt's words, Nowzar redoubled his efforts. He toured the country, meeting with local leaders and citizens, and explaining his vision for a greener Iran. Slowly but surely, public opinion began to shift in his favor. But Afrasiab wasn't about to give up. He launched a smear campaign, spreading rumors about Pars National's financial instability and Nowzar's inexperience. The company's stock price began to fall, and some board members started to whisper about replacing the young CEO. Nowzar felt the pressure mounting from all sides. Late one night, as he pored over financial reports in his office, he wondered if he was truly cut out for this role. His father's legacy seemed an impossible standard to live up to. A gentle knock on the door roused him from his thoughts. It was Rostam, his father's old friend and the company's head of security. "You look like you could use some air, son," Rostam said kindly. "Come on, let's take a walk." As they strolled through the quiet streets of Tehran, Rostam spoke of Manacher's early days, the challenges he had faced and the doubts he had overcome. "Your father wasn't perfect, Nowzar," Rostam said. "He made mistakes and had moments of doubt. But he never lost sight of what truly mattered. Nowzar looked at the older man curiously. "And what was that?" Rostam smiled. "The future. Not just of the company, but of Iran. Of the world his children and grandchildren would inherit." As dawn broke over the city, Nowzar returned to his office with renewed determination. He called an emergency board meeting and laid out a bold new strategy. Pars National would continue its push into renewables and launch a program to retrain oil industry workers for the green energy sector. The plan was risky, but it captured the public's imagination and the respect of industry analysts. Slowly, Pars National's fortunes began to turn around. Afrasiab, however, had one last card to play. He called Nowzar, requesting a private meeting. Despite the warnings of his advisors, Nowzar agreed. The two met at a neutral location, a quiet cafe in the heart of Tehran. Afrasiab didn't waste time with pleasantries. "You're in over your head, boy," he sneered. "Step down now, sell your shares to me and I'll ensure you're set for life. Refuse, and I'll bury you and your precious company." For a moment Nowzar was tempted. The past year had been the most challenging part of his life. But then he thought of his father, Sindokt, and everyone counting on him. "I'm not going anywhere," Nowzar said firmly. "Pars National isn't just a company. It's the future of Iran's energy. And that's not for sale." His resolute decision sent a powerful message to Afrasiab and the entire industry. Afrasiab's face contorted with rage. He stood abruptly, knocking over his chair. "You'll regret this, Tehrani. I'll destroy everything you've built." As Afrasiab stormed out, Nowzar felt a strange sense of calm. He knew the battle was far from over, but for the first time he truly believed he could win. Over the next few years, Nowzar's leadership propelled Pars National to new heights. The company became a leader in renewable energy in Iran and across the Middle East. Afrasiab's Tehran energy, mired in scandal and struggling to adapt to changing markets, fell into decline. But Nowzar always remembered the lessons of those early, difficult days. He remained humble, always striving to learn and improve. He built a company culture that valued innovation, integrity, and social responsibility. On the 7th anniversary of his taking over as CEO, Nowzar stood on the roof of Pars National headquarters, looking out over Tehran. The city skyline was dotted with wind turbines and solar panels, symbols of the change he had helped bring about. Sindokt joined him, and is now his wife and the company's chief sustainability officer. "Your father would be proud," she said softly. Nowzar smiled, thinking of Manacher. "I hope so," he replied. "But I think he'd be prouder of what we'll do next." As they turned back inside, Nowzar paused for one last look at the city. He thought of the ancient Nowzar from the Shahnameh, whose reign had been cut short. But here, in this modern reimagining, Nowzar Tehrani's legacy was just beginning. He had faced his Afrasiab and emerged victorious, not through battle, but through vision, perseverance, and a commitment to a better future. With renewed purpose, Nowzar stepped back into his office, ready to write the next chapter in his ongoing story.